Hello, I'm Dane, and this is Dane Explains. Have you ever thought about nothing? No, not thinking about nothing, but whether nothing is something, or nothing. I asked because when I was coming up with the topic for today's video, all I could come up with is nothing. So I thought, that's what I'll talk about. Nothing. After all, talking about nothing is better than talking about nothing. What? Okay, I'll stop. The specific nothing that's the subject of today's video isn't a sweet nothing, or even the nothing in particular that your coworker keeps annoying you with all day. It's literally nothing, or the physical concept of it. What is nothing? And does it even exist at all? Let me explain. When we think about nothing, normally we think of something, like a container that has nothing in it, or maybe the black nothingness of space. So we think about nothing by thinking about something that contains nothing. The thing is, there's actually almost always something there. So, I'm going to try and explain what nothing is by talking about what it isn't. But keep watching because there's a bit of a twist at the end. So, imagine you have a soda bottle with a sealed cap and nothing in it. Then imagine you try to crush that bottle. What happens? It flexes a little, but it springs back. The reason is because there's actually air in the bottle. In fact, if you took the air out of the bottle, you would get crushed by the pressure of the atmosphere around it. Now, what if we perform that experiment in space? There's nothing up there, right? Not even air. Ignoring the few atoms per cubic meter that are in space, when you tried to crush the bottle, it would just crush, unlike on Earth, because there's no air in it. That, however, doesn't mean there's nothing. It just means whatever it is highly compressible, or is able to squeeze out when you crush the bottle. Assuming the bottle was perfect, so it wasn't off-gassing anything, the bottle would actually still contain lots of subatomic particles. Electrons mostly clinging to the inside surface of the bottle because they're charged, and photons as well. Even if your bottle wasn't opaque, there would still be photons due to its own temperature releasing black-body radiation. It would also contain neutrinos, which are tiny neutral particles emitted by the sun and other energetic bodies in space. Even if you figured out some clever way to get rid of photons and charged particles, these little guys would slip right through. They only interact through what's known as the weak force, and gravity. And they're super light. They interact so little, in fact, that almost all of them pass right through the Earth and make it out the other side like the Earth wasn't even there. Even if we had some kind of magic bottle that kept all particles out of the bottle, everything, even space, is actually made of something. That thing is quantum fields. Particles are actually just vibrational nodes, kind of like standing waves in these fields. Theoretically speaking, it's even possible for particle pairs to just pop out of these fields and then recombine. So, what if you were able to also empty the bottle even of those fields? Well, something very similar to removing the air from the bottle on Earth. Assuming the fields couldn't just pass through the walls of the bottle, they would crush the bottle. This would be a dramatic example of what's called the Casimir effect, which is demonstrated here on Earth by getting two extremely flat, smooth plates very near each other. So near that the particle pair production I told you about can't happen, or is reduced for some quantum fields. This creates a force which forces the two plates together. In reality, you couldn't have a bottle with no quantum fields in it because the bottle itself has to be made out of quantum particles, which arise due to those fields. So, is there a place in the universe where there is nothing? Well, actually, yes, there is. And no, I don't mean by squeezing two plates together until there's nothing in between them. That's a cop-out. There are dark places in the universe that are immeasurable. That is, in spite of the fact that nothing is there, they have a size we can quantify. You would assume if you wanted to find such a place, you would go to the great voids between the galactic clusters, maybe. There are still quantum fields out there, however. It may be colder than here, but it's not nothing. We actually want to go the other way. In fact, not long ago, astronomers took a picture of something that contained nothing. And this is it. Look familiar? It's the black hole at the heart of the M87 galaxy. And this is the picture that made headlines when it was released. You're probably saying to yourself, but aren't black holes packed with everything that just fell into them? Shouldn't they be the closest thing to something that contains everything, not nothing? Counterintuitively, that's wrong. At least relative to us. Yeah, I know. Relativity, it can get relatively confusing. The reason is because of something called the holographic principle. The upshot is that nothing can enter a black hole relative to us observers on the outside. So, all of the black hole's contents are actually smeared out on the surface of the black hole in a two-dimensional layer. I did a video on what would happen if you fell into a black hole. It might help increase your understanding. Link in the description. So if nothing can enter the black hole relative to us, then there's nothing in it. Literally, absolutely nothing. You could call the black hole the only container strong enough to hold nothing, but it actually has no tangible surface. People ask where the edge of the universe is. Well, at the event horizon of a black hole is one answer. Space literally ends there, even though it's completely surrounded by it. There is another place closer to where you might expect, but that's a story for another video. You know, it's quite ironic that it takes a whole lot of something to actually make nothing. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please press the like button, subscribe to my channel, and ding the bell to get notified when I post new videos. Also, please support me on Patreon, link in the description. The more people support me, the more time I can dedicate to making videos like this one. So, until next time, have a great week.